All right.
How do they turn a family member against you?
So everyone in the United States, so if you look, a summary of our main message is number one, everyone in the United States, and it appears to be most of the world, are being tracked by certain satellites. And these satellites are called GPS satellites. And they are the latest technology. All of this is done with a top secret clearance. They have more than 190 satellites under their direct control. They track the precise location of every U.S. citizen by bouncing a microwave beam right here on the top back part of your head. And if you place your hand there firmly, put your knuckles right above it, you can actually feel the microwave pulses. They're about once per second. Everyone in the United States is tracked. Every person that I have tested with my own hand, I can feel the microwave pulse. And these weapons produce a microwave scalar beam. In other words, this is a new type of technology that operates under a very mysterious wave. It's called a scalar wave. And it is apparently part of the deep state plan to monitor, track, and surveil everyone on the planet.
Oh, okay, great.
They aren't particular just to U.S. citizens. We have found that this is a global program. About a year ago, I counted more than 60 countries that have sent us emails from individuals saying they're also being attacked in these similar methods that we've described. So there's the gang stalking, there's the directed energy weapons that I've just described, and there's another thing that's very debilitating to approximately 2/3 of the targeted individual community, and it's called voice to skull, or V2K. This is a technology that was actually developed in the early 1960s by a scientist by the name of Dr. Alan Fry, and it's called the Fry effect.
Oh boy!
And they can literally take this microwave beam and point it anywhere on your skull, and you will be the only one that will hear the voices that come through it. So you stand there and say, "There's somebody cussing me out and calling me horrible names 24 hours a day. You cannot switch it off. There's no firewall for your mind."
Last night
and
on a call,
the technology is very real. They're using the same technology on every U.S. citizen as a subliminal message. It is broadcast from cell towers 24 hours a day. Very disturbing. And a federal judge has already ruled that subliminal messaging is illegal because it's an invasion of privacy.
I think. What happened? I know I watched a 6
How do they do that? How do they turn a family member against you?
How do I get, this was only $249?
Very disturbing. And a federal judge has already ruled that subliminal messaging is illegal because it's an invasion of privacy.
That's it? I need more. Oh, let's read the comments, okay? I've been a target for 17 years and have been poisoned with nanotechnology. That's interesting you say that, Vincent. They can see what I see. So scalar technology, the handlers and gang stalkers could care less about a judge's order. I feel like that is unfortunately true. I read you saying they can see what I can see. I had a friend and then no, tell me to look for a small incision in our right eye. For nanocam technology, I had his neck surgery that took hours too long that raised red flags. This is the very reason why I've refused all the surgeries they say I need, because when you sign the medical release in the fine print, it says that if the doctor feels that it is necessary to inject you with the biotech during surgery, they can give it to you if you sign the fine print to receive it. But if you sign it without reading it, you give them permission to give it to you without your consent. Read the full disclosure before. Did you get it out? Will the doctors tell us or no? Yes, I'm so sorry. I don't hold you to blame for anything. You are in the clear, all good. Actually, the worst part is being denied due process here in Canada. It gets worse. The government has gone around and retained most of the good lawyers. In essence, they have created a monopoly. Yeah, he's in Canada, so it's a little, wow, for themselves, unless you were lucky enough to not be forced to. Jesus. As most were and be rich enough to pay for it, unlike a convicted sex offender, convicted or other dangerous criminal that gets free legal representation. Injured workers do not. I've been a target for a very long time as well. People want to make you out to be crazy, but I am very healthy mentally. Luckily, my wife has experienced some of the crazy things I've told her about that happened to me, so she is the only person I can find in these things about. At first, she just thought I was being paranoid. Ow, my eye. My eye is literally like twitching. I got things coming out of me. It doesn't make sense. Until we had drones outside the window several times, I got things outside lighting up the little skies and the cars following it. Dude, I had a car, dude, literally this morning with no lights drive down the street. He had to put his brake lights on for the speed bump, so I was able to record it. What the fuck? Shit's very real. What the fuck? Oh my God. All those cars every time. I have noticed that. I noticed that. I'm watching lights in the sky and then a car. And one time, they've even two times they've talked to me. One time in the day. Whoa, boy, shit's very real. I think some of us get targeted at a young age because we have gifts that are supposed to be programmed out of us. And the reason for that is so we don't wake others up. I wonder if this goes in at all with a comment I seen on here a couple of days ago. Someone brought up the hearing test we all did in school. Were you put in a room with headphones on? That's when my shit all came back, was the headphone emoji that Lanessa put in the chat and asked you what you could hear or what you could see in certain eye tests they put you through. Anybody remember that shit? And then stuck you in a different class or bundled you with other kids in school. They knew which one of us were which. That's when they knew to pay attention to which kids didn't lose their gifts, so to speak. I mean, does anyone else remember that actually being for anything school related? No, I do not. Sure makes you wonder we didn't apply it. That is so true. That is so true. That's what I've been saying the whole time. It's like, I don't remember ever doing any work, really. I did like a project in 6th grade on Helen Keller with a friend, but like other than that, I just remember going in and sitting at my desk, and I knew it was the gifted A+ program, but I didn't know that was the GATE program, Gifted and Talented Exchange. I didn't know that until just very recently, but I remember going in and sitting at my little desk, and this is in the late 80s, 90s, one day a week, several of us would be bused to, it didn't start out this way, but then it switched this way to like an inner city school, which was kind of weird. And we would spend the day there. I don't know. But I do know that I did like sabotage my whatever at some point, because at the end of the year we were going to go to like, maybe not Conner Prairie, somewhere in like a couple hours south. That would have been cool. Most kids you would think would want to go on a trip as such, but I clearly didn't, because I didn't do whatever criteria was needed. So yes, I remember. Oh, I remember. A lot of this I have recently just been put together. I knew I was in the A+ program in school for gifted kids. I remember that we didn't really do much work. I also remember a couple years into it, they started busing us one day a week to an inner city school, if you will, which was kind of weird, and we would spend the whole day there. And no, I don't remember doing much. I kind of didn't remember what we did there, other than I do recall a project I did on Helen Keller. A project I did there on Helen Keller with a friend one year. However,
How do they do that? How do they turn a family member against?
However, after that, And even prior, I don't
That's
really,
true.
So
I don't recall what the heck was going on there, not at all. Just recently in a chat room on the YouTubes,
everyone in the United
I bumped into a gal that said, well, if you remembered anything, you would remember
States, so if you look
those headphones, and she used the emoji. I just saw it, headphones.
a summary of our main message is number one, everyone in the United States, and it appears
And it all kind
to
of
be most of the world,
and it all kind of came back to me. Now, this is before I knew that GATE standard for Gifted and Talented Exchange.
are being tracked by certain satellites.
Talented Exchange.
These
I learned that like literally later in the week by
satellites are called
expressing this similar communication to someone else.
GPS satellites.
And them saying, Lucy, did you know that?
And they are the latest technology. All
Did you know that's what that meant?
of this is done
So I feel you.
with a top secret
I'm probably going to put this on YouTube, actually.
clearance. They have more than 190 satellites under their direct control. They track the precise location of every U.S. citizen by bouncing a microwave beam.
If you feel ever so inclined. A lot of my channel is sky watching, and some of these comments have made me a little eerie, especially about the ones with cars pulling up, because I'll be outside watching the crazy lights, because I'm always like, I really need this much surveillance. You know what? At the end of the day, we need to recognize our power and be like, heck yeah, we do actually, I guess, because we are powerful mofos.
Right here on the top back part of your head.
It's just so easy to forget.
And if you place your hand there firmly, put your knuckles right above it, you can.
I thought I hit the button. All right. They don't show you how this is done. They don't have no witnesses coming forward. I've done tests putting out outrageous stories of things that aren't real, just to see if it all comes back. It's 3 months later. Everyone's believing, oh, Jesus. The stories I put out, I swear to God, this is so, although I've done it a few times, so I'm confused about what I put out, and it comes back a little bit bigger. But basically, the story. So it just shows that we will believe anything we hear because of our faith in God. It's totally gone for most of us, and it's too bad, because if you ever needed strength and truth, we need it right now. And of course, it's pretty much going out the window. Love himself, love the good book, says it's flourishing. Yes, I absolutely love her. So many think she is batshit crazy, though. Those of us who are able to see the truth and knowledge she has to offer isn't nowhere enough, though, especially with the most recent findings I've found and how they are using parasites to invade us through all this unusual. Jesus, Lord, have mercy on us all of our good souls. I've found in there using parasites to invade us through all this unusual heavy fog we have had. We all have parasites, and due to what we eat, and most aren't unaware of one of the main causes of cancer. Is that the right person to reply to? I know exactly what you speak of, because I am currently living it, and it is Lucy's House of Horrors over here, and I never even liked that genre. I think a lot of it has to do with your blood type and or genetic markers, since I have a housemate that is not affected in the same regard as I am, or maybe that is also some of the targeting, although he does have some effects. They're just different. Pretty wild to see your comment, but at the same time not. Let me tell you, tell you it has been a struggle and a half shell. I've done 3 rounds. I have done, fortunately, able to find a doctor to prescribe me anything because, well, I've done 3 rounds of different, I have done 3 rounds of different strong anti-what have yous, and even done a stool test.
Actually feel the microwave pulses.
Even done a stool test, and they said that was fine.
They're about once per second. Everyone in the United States is tracked. Every person
that was fine. Doctor at emergency room said tape and treated me there.
I had tested
and treated me there.
With my own hand, I can feel the microwave pulse. These weapons produce a
However, I do not
microwave scalar beam.
with
In other words, this is a new type of technology that operates
with medication. However, you would never know it because
under a very
know it, except for I kept asking how to spell it, and the nurse offered me the
mysterious way.
the bottle, so I have it.
It's called a scalar wave.
Have it. Otherwise, my paperwork says they diagnosed me with pinworms, and
it is apparently part
pinworms and didn't give me any drugs.
The deep state plan to monitor, track, and surveil
me any drugs.
Everyone on the planet.
Oh, okay, great.
They aren't particular just to U.S. citizens. We have found that this is a global program.
But only 400 milligrams. That did wonders, but I definitely needed more. Followed that up with a dose of...
About a year ago, I counted more than 60 countries that have...
And prior to all of this, did a 3-week thing.
Sent us emails from individuals saying they're also being attacked in these similar methods that we've described.
Human form.
So there's the gang stalking, there's the direct...
I'm about to go back to the damn hospital now, because they can't really deny it when it's physically
energy weapons
coming
that I've just described,
physically coming up, out, and off of me, like no orifice at this point.
And there's another thing that's very debilitating.
No orifice of my body is really safe at this point. Crevices, increases.
Approximately 2/3 of the targeted individual community, and it's called voice to skull, or V2K. This is a technology that was actually...
Forget about it. And hair, too. Let me not forget to mention the hair. Things that look like hairs that are most definitely not hairs.
Developed in the early 19...
Not. They have a whole freaking mind of their own, strong, and can somehow sort of shock you. Literally.
60s by a scientist.
They love to make a nice little loop.
By the name of...
Interestingly enough, if you Google, like, what is this hair-like structure?
Dr. Allen.
This hair-like structure that makes a loop and can move, it will tell you...
Fry.
It will tell you an answer. I was not expecting that.
And it's called the Fry effect. And they can literally take this microwave beam and point it anywhere on your skull, and you will be the only one that will hear the voices.
I believe
that come through it. So
I believe more like Demon Toad, the frog I never wanted to kiss. I don't know if this is exactly what you meant, but I know.
Stand there and say,
I know it's happening.
Somebody cussing me out and calling me horrible names 24 hours a day. You cannot switch it off.
I am in a subtropical climate too.
There's no firewall for your mind.
Fun, sunny, humid.
And the technology.
Sunny, humid Florida too, and the fog has been ridiculous. This is definitely fungus.
It's very real.
This is definitely attached to that.
They're using
attached to the fungus among us.
The same technology on every U.S. citizen as a subliminal message. It is broadcast from cell towers 24 hours a day. today. Very disturbing.
And they say it's a third world disease, but I ain't never left the country.
And a federal judge has already ruled that subliminal messaging is illegal because it's an invasion of privacy.
Okay.
It's live.
Right.
So it's facing the front door.
I see that.
So we can see when we get packages and we.
I understand what you're doing with
the tree
it.
so the squirrels can get to it and the birds can fly up and they won't have to worry about being scared as much. But they still will be underneath this carport, so it might not work. But what's cool is you can move it anywhere.
I know.
Screw it in
Well, I don't love. Okay, hang on. Hold on. I have a YouTube channel. If you desire to check it out, feel free. This might be on it. Lucy. What the fuck? Sabrina Walnuts. The sensation you feel on the top of your head into your pulse, you dimwit. Feel it at the same time you check your pulse on it. No dimwit, just wait until you wake up in the middle of the night and the beam is going into the back of your head and it's burning your body sweating and these people are telling you what's happening and you still won't listen. That's called menopause for ladies at least. I noticed that too. He's out there. I thought to myself, why would I need to press for him to feel waves on the back of my hand? Lots of veins on the head between the skin, skull, and sand feeding onto the brain. Well, yeah, I came here to say that. Yeah, like resting heart rate 60. She said, oh, every second till what? Still want a 10-foot how, though. 10-foot how's getting annoying after a while. Do you like me and go get you a little home from Sunday? You'll be just fine. You got a point there, brother. And these days, you would need the old school tin foil, not this aluminum BS. What is the 5G connected? Believe it or not, we're basically connected to the cloud. Yep. The term transhumanism is something humans came up with. It has been in the works for decades because they have genetically modified and those towers go up to 10. That would make sense. I started this journey of awakening to the parallel realities of layers of everything about 20 years ago. Somewhere along the line, I was exposed to the ideas that humans and computers are... What do I always say? Your skull is the hardware, your brain is the operating and processing system. Processor and operating, and that the merging of the two is the art of evolution. I just happen to think things can exist organically, and that is what science-based most of their tech off of. They try to emulate. Yeah, exactly. So it would make sense they're releasing heavy metals in every avenue toward us they can find. I would say heavy metals. I would say the metals in the air that they spray is what gives me rainbows next to the sun at sunset. In Smart TV Blueprint, it shows you can read it, I guess. Jeez Louise. We are bioelectric beings. of frequency is everything. All we see, hear, and think of being manipulated through frequency. Average folks can only see and hear under 13% of the world around us. That's interesting. 13%. Yeah. When someone who is tuned into their higher level, they call them crazy, poking them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Once you become aware of things, the world just isn't the same. It amazes me how many simple, everyday things have been manipulated using it. What they can do goes as far as when they take the second coming of Messiah. It's going to be so seeing that each individual will think that God is talking to them one-on-one. It's going to be hard for people to resist the feeling that cubes over them. Just know the evil one comes first, offering peace, prosperity. Before he reveals himself, he's going to end up gathering people in the battle. I agree. Event is to destroy all that is most high. I started my round pit. Okay, I've seen some things. The mind starkers trying to see if the gifts that God gave you along with the Holy Spirit is up in your mind so they can take away the gifts of the Holy Spirit for themselves. Remain in the Bible want to buy the Holy Spirit from Paul, so mind starkers just want to take them for free. They are not interested in purchasing anything, and that's so sad. People don't have any privacy no more. Sonar, they're going to kill me early because they have to pay me disability through the Marine Corps. Well, then they can't find people that have been abducted. What the fuck does that mean? Well, why then? You have to have a paradigm shift in regard to that because the entire perspective is off. They absolutely know where everyone is. Yes. It was a huge evil money maker among the things they're definitely not telling us. That's not even a good question. First of all, you don't know what they know or what they have found. Second of all, you don't know who is doing the abducting. It's usually the government that's involved anyway, so why would they tell anyone? Because they are in and on. because they're the ones abducting, because they are the ones abducting them. Okay, it was rhetorical, y'all. They can map out your house with the Wi-Fi frequencies from your router. Satellite is old news. mRNA rollout had a hand in playing for their plans of connecting everyone. Listen to a girl who was in this study. It's where Stranger Things comes from. It's not a fictional movie. You have actual CIA. Yep. I already left you a lengthy comment, I do believe, on this exact thing. If not, I left someone in this stream, but hello again. This is crazy. That is partly true, but many are so far from aware. Is it even a level playing field? When one doesn't even know the rules to participate, let alone compete. They track births, origin systems, where appearances were made, names, expressions, and even language that we sign on to that isn't our own. They also don't need a wire or microphone to listen to people talking. They can use devices in ways we think that because it's common and it's how we amplify ourselves to communicate, but they got planes that can fly over and pick up all communications for hundreds of miles. What they can't do is read our minds, but algorithms are studying everything we say, yep. And AI is profiling it. They know us probably better than we know ourselves. Remember, they made sure we learned the language that they use against us. Our own vocabularies isn't known to ourselves, but it's known to them. Even if they need to interpret it to use it, they don't care to ask us about how we feel, what our experience is, or what we meant. They will draw their own conclusions as they see fit. The First Amendment, freedom of expression, goes first from the Constitution, then rights to the people, then shared power to the state. We live on language, study at work, and survival living on the grid. They created the grid, and oh my god, I'm so uncomfortable right now. Run it by codes, numbers, and dismantle information topics such as we adopt it, express it. We are its producers or products. We just don't see it because we live in our imaginations. Images in your work. Check out the Smith-Lund Act. It's wonderful. So there's probably no mental voices where you hear, and it's just this, yeah. I'm 2 miles into Canada. There's another Canadian. It freezes for me at 2:44 minutes. This is happening to me. I thought I was hearing the voices through the microphone in illegally placed spy cameras. I wake up this every day, but I am 2 miles into Canada. I was planning on paying for a bug sweeping exercise to make this repulsive violation of my privacy removed. So holy fuck. What? So how do we stop this? What is the judge's name for references? The information I asked for top secret too? Pray to God of heaven. Video works till the end. It says the judge illegal because it's an invasion of power. However, judge's ruling is not enough against those problems. I'm sorry, but you can't stop them. They've been doing this to me for over 20 years longer. Actually, some strange stuff happened when I was a kid. You can't tell the doctor about it because they think you're crazy. Especially therapists. You can't tell your friends or loved ones because they will question your sanity. Maybe you can find a group of people, but you can't stop it, unfortunately. The government is compromised at the highest levels, and they're the ones that are doing this to us. All of the judges are in on it, law enforcement and so on. Basically, it's like pedophilia in a way because they're all in on it. Honestly, the only advice I could give to you is protect yourself with copper cloth. Put put a Faraday cage over your bed with at least, not a bad idea. But at night, then, at least your body can rest and heal at night, and put a big screw in your ceiling and make something like a mosquito net that drapes down around your bed. Jesus Lord, but you make it with copper-infused cloth, so basically you can at least protect while you're sleeping. You can also line a baseball cap or some kind of hat during the day on the inside so no one can see it with copper foil or copper tape. The reason I know this is because I've done it in the past, and the reason I did it in the first place is because some terrible things happened to me to prove what this guy is saying is true. About 6 months ago, I woke in the middle of the night with the team going back into the back of my head. Jesus. As my fucking eye twitches. Come on, man. I was sweating. It was terrible. I was stopped around because there was no more to tell, and it's... a beam, not a team. I don't mean to laugh because everything you're saying, but I was trying to imagine this team going into the back of your head, and I thought this might be a typo. All the words I mistype, I swear. I wonder if that is needed too, as any other mistype word. It wouldn't matter, but that one is. He is in his 40s and he has to come live with me because he can't cope anymore. It's been going on for 6 years now. This should be addressed to RFK. Oh my God, my 26-year-old son's being tortured by the voices only he hears. It kills my heart because he went from being happy and free spirit to an angry, tortured, scared, and confused shell of the person he once was. I know it's very real. I see him fighting to make them stop, but they continue to harass him 24/7, even in his sleep. I genuinely believe that it is an evil demonic type of doctors diagnose people hearing these vile voices as being paranoid schizophrenic. My question is, why is it that paranoid schizophrenics only hear vile, perverted, oppressive, and evil sounding noises? Why don't paranoid schizophrenics ever hear happy, loving, and compassionate? Yeah. My heart goes out to you and your son. What now? Okay. I'm in a Whole Foods supermarket, which I never go there because I don't live in that area. I literally heard a voice tell me to get out. I said no and kept shopping. It's in a better part of town. A lot of rich people shop there. Maybe some poor people there, but I'm harmlessly shopping, just trying to eat better. Oh wow, I'm tripping out right now. This exact same thing happened to me twice at Whole Foods. Wow, I don't usually ever go there, and this was a few years ago this happened. I later heard a voice that said, get out. I was in Florida off Turkey Lake and Sand Lake area, Whole Foods. When that happened, tell me it was the same location. I'm going to do a backflip right now. I'm not sure where that is, but this was in Florida too. Florida, for fuck's sake. I just came to say crap me up, thanks. And if I'm gonna tell them to shut the hell up. Dandruff and it dumbs us down. If that's the case, why is there if we wore grounding shoes rather than rubber soles? Yes. Geophysicist. You can find him on YouTube. He probably has a website also. He makes really nice shoes. Mental derangement. We also have our sky sprayed. I'm pretty sure our voting system is rigged. Pretty sure their votes from voting stations that apparently not even collected to be counted in the vote should now be null and void. It really is war on the people, food, water, and air. You have to wonder how this could possibly happen. Our farmers are being attacked on a huge scale, spraying their organic farms with toxic chemicals, killing our bees, chickens, and reducing eggs. Stores not restocking as they used to, and a plentiful supply of products missing from shelves altogether. Slow build up to a plan, hoping for a positive change to come about. That's why some try to kill themselves. So when you have surgery, it's just them, and you sleep in there. Back in the days, some get out to sleep for one tooth. You keep tooth. If you're rotten, no discount or anything. You pay. You always pay. You have childbirth, as I got of age, or they grew of age. They sell and eat placenta like some. Yeah, they're entitled to the afterbirth. It's not yours. Been going since they invented time, but I'm not surprised with signs of long-term drummers and such, and like almost waking up inside of me that I fell asleep on. Sometimes you can feel heat on your body in Australia. I know people in other countries that are getting fried by shit. Not only in USA, but even Australia. Tremors are charging innocent. Please tell this happening. Yeah, it's everywhere. Called my closet cousin out last week and we started after moving, deflecting, intending to change the subject. And it was very confirming this happened after I said he's an agent and he's part of it. Put a blue hat. Lead. Queen Bean was buried in the lead blind castle. Why? Also just energetically and verbally remove your consent. There is a religion that is disguised to look like a ridiculous party of another religion called Rastafarian. And the religion I'm talking about is called Pastafarian. There really is this. This is legit. Apparently there is a giant alien spaghetti and meatball monster in the universe, and it basically screws everyone's brains and souls up with these microwaves. And everyone in that religion wears a metal pasta strainer on their head. And that is real talk. Actually, that's actually real talk. There's really, oh my god. I'm so glad this finally came out. I've been dealing with this for 5 years. These children cheats are trying to keep me. Do you have a cigarette? Well, whatever, you don't even have time to look at your dumb shit. Found out they use Wi-Fi routers, send waves that go through walls and give off a GPS to exactly on people in the home and what they're doing. Another thing, be careful what you post and search out and pick that up and put you in the line before I become a target. Yeah. Yep. Women seduction is understandable for the book online but can afford the price. That's true. I hadn't even converted the wording like that, but you're so right. I started experiencing deep throbbing heat where this guy says to put your hand on balding. At that point, throbs in the stress of the dirt head until I did breathing exercises. Oh boy. Probably. I think the Joker did this on Batman. Don't I wish it? I really do. I wish. Like, I would love to be wrong. You have no idea. Oh my god. My gang stalkers are narcissists and all try to team up to hurt me in any and every way possible. Oh, I've been saying 20 years by this guy. They don't do it just to do it. They all have reasons, like of being able to control me, and all have done messed up things that I know, and they want to keep suppressed. Gang stalking isn't just a random thing. Tons of things that happen to you if you don't mind me asking. I find this very fascinating. UK also, it's a bit much. I don't doubt they wish people tell you where your cars travel too. Case in point. I mean, yeah. There are no satellites. Well, there's something fucking flying around there. That is probably exactly what's going on, but there's things up there. If you can buy it. If you can find it, it's all aluminum now. Yeah. Yep. Yep. What they, this is a good one. Okay. Well done, Treebeard. I don't feel nothing. I believe they are tracking us all, but not with microwaves bouncing off our head. It is more simpler than that. We are literally all holding GPS trackers in our hands every day. After some time, they know where you're going and everything about your daily routine, and they don't even need it anymore because they know where you're going already. So you could keep loving your life and throw away your phone, and they will still know where you're going and where you went because they already know when you still have your phone. But even more than your phone, they use everything Wi-Fi routers and your home to the cell phone towers to bounce beams in every direction and map out each human and building, etc. Just like how your Wi-Fi router does in your home, but on a bigger scale. Or just like how we can go on wherever and take a look at like a whatever the flip it's called 3D walk around. They could even know what you're doing at any given moment. So it does more than just tracking you. When they see on a computer, what they see on a computer screen is a city of houses and buildings and all the humans in and around it walking around taking shit laying in their bed. I don't love the words, but I do love the fact that you're telling the truth. Spin. Facts. They can put thoughts in your head. A couple of the school shooters said a voice in their head told them to do it. One would-be mass shooter left a note behind saying that the voice was telling him to do it, and he's not a killer, and he killed and had the note on him. I think that was one of the sporting event, if I remember right. It's been happening. They can hit you with the laser, and you'll have sharp pain in your head until you step away from the spot that you're in, because it's happened to me multiple times in my backyard, but only in a certain spot when I'm walking. As soon as I step out of the spot up in the backyard, it stops happening after the 5G tower got put up. The judge said that is unconditional. Officer Germany's will be from your own household. I totally believe and know this to be true. Do you happen to know where offhand? Like what book? I'd love to know. I got no time. Is that ringing my ears? But they never did say how much cocaine was found in the White House. That's mysterious. First of all, I believe that what he's feeling is your heart rate. Okay. They have 3 grid satellite, and I've been feeling it on the back of my head. Can they use birds too? I don't like that it's even a question, but it seems to be. Why not? When that whole thing first came out, are the birds real? I laughed so hard. I love birds. And I do still love birds, but some of them sus as all, and why wouldn't they? And why wouldn't they? There's a project called Acoustic Kitty from way back when, where supposedly they wired up a cat to be its like stealth spy for them. However, they say that once they got the cat all mic'd up, I guess, that it got hit by a taxi. I kind of always believed that. Only recently did I come to the conclusion that Lucy May just might have said that just to think it stopped. To make you think said program stopped. And it does make sense because cats usually aren't that easy to train, but nonetheless, you can look that up. Listen. Why are so many people going through the same stuff at the same time? Yeah. Looking at me for stuff I've done, things like that, just so good mind getting praised to see what they do. Think about a grid, an XY value grid. They use this grid to pinpoint brain activity, controlling emotional input, and then tongue this input with that wave you were talking about, using remote neural monitoring. They're testing us like lab rats for the engineering of future tech, synthetic tech, weather telepathy, gene editing, RNA, editing rather, gene editing, manipulation, synthetic lobotomy, controlling your state of mind as well as cognitive through augmented reality and deep state mind. So many other tests that I know of. I'm sure there were at least 100 or more tests downloaded in my brain. That's another thing. Signals from brain turned into language that quantum computers can translate into words causing predictive analytics and oh my god, analysis, whatever, on your next thought. Mind reading and thus subliminal mind control. Cognitive occipital virtual interference development. I knew the acronym before anyone started saying it. PME if doesn't you enough to give shit. If not, by the way, pretty scary when they top 5G box to shoot you with. I don't know, but he's right about the current. There's been studies about the fact that reflecting of the energy that skull is naturally an intent of sort. You can put this in practice, standing just from your vehicle, distance outside your fobs. Hold the key fob to your chin while pointing your car, and it will reach outside of normal distances because your skull is being used as a dish to stay protected. Ow! This is bullshit. I gotta get up because I'm that fucking uncomfortable from what I'm going through. So with that, I found that interesting.